Rogers Gardens. I'm Scott Daigre, the owner of Tomatomania. Tomatomania is a weekly rite of spring that'll come to Rogers here very soon. And we're anxious to talk about tomatoes, of course, because that's what everybody wants as the season warms up. But though a tomato is a really tough plant, and will do fine if you just put it in the ground and give it a little water in the proper sun, they often need a lot more than that to do really well. We ask a lot of these tomatoes in a very short time. We want them to work at maximum capacity. We want them to work quick, and we want them to produce a lot. So, when you're ready to plant tomatoes, you need to know that you need a little bit more than a plant to get you that, and that's what we're going to talk about today. The first thing that you want to be sure to bring home after you select your tomatoes are perfect and wonderful soils that you can add to your existing garden, whether it's containers, raised beds, or the garden soil in your backyard. Any great garden amendment that includes lots of good organic amendments will make that soil a better home for your plants. That's what you want. How much? A lot. Be very liberal with garden amendments, and that's whether you've gardened in the same place for years or whether you're starting a new garden, it matters not. You need to add lots and lots of good organic amendment. If you're in containers, you're going to use potting soil, maybe mixed with a little planting mix or worm castings. If you're in a garden or a raised bed, add it all. Leaf compost, great planting mix, great manure-based soils and other organic amendments. Do as much as you can. The more you add to your soils and the more diverse the nutrients, the better your tomatoes are going to do as the season progresses. And again, that's what we want. We want really great, productive plants. Once your plants are in the ground, you need to know that they need food in addition to the water that you're going to give them. So Rogers has a whole selection of wonderful organic fertilizers that will give your plants the main nutrients they need and some trace minerals as well. So whether it's a Dr. Earth product or something like Neptune's Harvest, whatever kind of fertilizer you choose, know that you need to have it because your plant will do better and you'll get more tomatoes. But also, you don't want to be behind the game. Again, you want to just make sure that you're keeping up with what needs to happen in the garden. For most of us in decent soils, we don't need to use a lot of fertilizer. Follow the directions. You'll only need to fertilize generally a couple times in the ground as the season goes along. If you're growing in containers, your needs are a little bit different because you'll water more there, so your fertilizer is dissipated or goes away more quickly. You'll need to add a little bit more fertilizer on a little bit more regular basis if you're in containers. As the plant grows, you'll know this in short order if you haven't used it yet. You'll need to have a stake or some sort of retainer, a cage, a trellis, something to hold your tomato up as the season goes along. These are your standard ones. You recognize these probably, where the plant just grows in there and the ribs hold that plant up as it grows and presses against the exterior of the cage. That's a perfect way to grow tomatoes, especially small ones and especially in containers. If you need something a little bit more sturdy, these sturdy cages, an inverted taper is another way to do this. It really doesn't matter what you use to stake your tomatoes. If you have a sturdy fence, a sturdy wall, that's great, but these guys will make it easy for you as the season goes along. I'm a bamboo cane guy. I start with one and I might use 10 by the time the season is over. Doesn't have to look pretty, it only has to hold the plant up. That's what's most important. So, when the plant continues to grow, you have all sorts of options as you attach to what you're growing in or on. Ties, all sorts of things to tie to the location where you're growing or to the cage or to the trellis. Plant markers, always a good option, especially if you're growing a lot of them. We often have a great plan when the season starts, but as tags fade and the kids take them away or the dog digs it up and runs off with it, you'll forget what's in the garden. So make markers. Make markers and you'll know your garden for the whole season instead of just at the beginning. So as you look at all the options when you're shopping for your tomato plants, know that you need to have a full spade of materials as you get ready for your entire season. Tomatoes can be a great addition to your summer. I'm Scott Daigre, and I'm so excited that you'll come to join us for Tomatomania. Know that when you get here, we'll have lots and lots of great tomato varieties and a whole host of great products, great tools that you can use in the garden to have a great harvest this summer.